Hello and welcome. This is Alchemist X, and I'm back from a short vacation up in Seattle. Did the anime convention, SakuraCon up there. It was really fun. Didn't have a lot of time to focus on Alchemist Code though, at least in a media sense. And luckily there wasn't a whole lot going on. For me, I was just doing the stuff like the Otima box event, the Zain version 2, Canon version 2, Zangetsu version 2 events, just stuff that some of that stuff was around the week before, but I was so focused on April Fool's stuff that I didn't really get to it. But because last week was the last week to do that stuff, that was the time to focus on it. This week there is just a new box event. It's one of those more condensed ones, and the prizes are tickets that you can exchange for the nationality based mementos, which I think are really great if you have a character you just really want to use. For me, that's like Ignacio, but you don't have their memento. So the last event, I just got the Northern Pride one and completely maxed it out, and that's helped quite a bit. It's like, yeah, I don't have his Snowball or his VCR, but at least he's got some extra HP, so he's a little less squishy. He's got some extra agility and a little bit of all attack. So if you've got a character, especially if you have a bunch of characters that are all from the same region whose mementos you're lacking, then that's the choice to go for. But they give you enough tickets to max out one of them per box event. So I recommend that more than spreading yourself too thin, because I don't think the mementos are very good on their own without being completely maxed out. But that's just my opinion on the matter. So before going over the banners this week, because it'll be pretty quick because it'll be mostly familiar territory, I did want to talk about the live stream that happened fairly recently. So thanks to both Coolbell Miz and to Sincal for posting the translated summary of what was covered in the stream, because they don't really have subtitles, and it'd be really difficult to translate if you're not a native speaker, so that would be hard. So just to run down real quick. So for mid-April, Megistos and Lucian getting character stories, some improvements, and some mementos. May will have a new chapter of, a new portion of the chapter 7 for the main story, and a main story unit, so presumably a memento unit. And then May will have a job 3 for Amane, so that's a pretty big deal, something I'm sure people have been waiting for a long time. I hope it's as good as all the other job 3s. They have a pretty good track record. They're as good as they are grindy. A new Phantom Link unit that is speculated to be Yomi. And then around June, a job plus for Nina, which, good lord, is that overdue. That's pretty nuts. Like, she's been around forever, and she's not terrible. I mean, light magic could always use more people that do it, and she was kind of specialized in dark exploit back when she was first released. So if she really leans into that, kind of like how I believe Cheryl did with her job plus, then I could see good things coming out of that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So of course, there's a lot that wasn't said there. No word on the next Dragon chapter. So I imagine that it'll come before June. But they've got to leave some surprises in there. So that's just, here's a few things to look forward to. Probably some of them like Amane and Nina that just are very expected. And then a couple pleasant surprises, like I kind of figured they just forgotten about Megistos. And in the case of Lucian, I think that's very nice. He's a unit that I am currently working on right now, just because insofar as distribution of units goes, and by element, for me, wind has been much less represented in pulls, or just having units that are kind of more feasible to invest in, and especially making it kind of worse, I decided to sort of go against the grain and work on my Dark Nyx, even though it was a very uphill thing in terms of shards and lacking memento, that kind of thing. So my wind is really weak compared to all of the other elements. So Lucian has been a unit I've been working on. I finally got him max limit broken, and I finished all of his jobs, including his job plus. It's really nice just because everything that you need for him is very easy to get. He just needs a 4-star memento. The event for him is in the event archive, so you don't have to worry about a rerun. And at the very least, even if he's not like a crazy strong unit, he can charge up with Susano and do some damage in a big AoE. and sometimes that's all you can really ask of someone, especially when your other options are borderline non-existent. So yeah, that is all I've got for this little intro portion. So next, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the banners. And here we are at the banners. And man, I am so glad you can use more than one of those tickets at once. So there are 2 reroll banners. There's one for mementos and one for units. I think I've covered both of these before. They're a little bit dicey, but can be worthwhile. I think that the unit soul shard one is overshadowed by the limited pool ones, just because as far as overlap goes, these aren't going to have dragons or version 2 units, while the other ones will. So unless like a unit like Mercia, who is neither a dragon, but also not on the other banner, if they're a big priority for you, then I guess there's that, but it's really risky to try to do this focusing on a single unit, because that's a very, very, very wide net. So yeah, speaking of the 3 parts of the 3-step 3K banners, that's a lot of 3s. I think they're excellent. I have been told that they show up around once a month or so, and so, yeah, so far that tracks. We might have missed a little bit when I first started playing, just because maybe the anniversary might have messed that up, but overall, they seem like they're a little bit more common than they would have been in global. I think they're absolutely good. I mean, just guaranteed limited, where you know what the pool is, and duplicates are 100 shards. Hard to argue with that. Could definitely be a gem sink, so just beware of that if you are saving up for something. But I think most people would benefit from doing at least one step, because 3K gems will be discounted from the gem spent bonus. Get a little elemental shards on the side. Which one is right for you is going to depend on which units you care the most about, but overall, it's a very nice banner style. Next, we get to the Alma banner. So if you are all about Alma, this is excellent. So if you want to go all in on this, that would be 22.5k minus 2,000 per discount ticket owned. So you'd have at least one. I think that's pretty good. I think Alma is a really nice unit to have. Even if she doesn't do like the highest amount of damage, she's got some utility to go along with her damage, in terms of being able to relocate a unit via throwing them. Nullifying buffs on an enemy can always be very, very nice. So if you just want to get her, you only have to go to step 5. But if you do go to step 9, you'll get her second memento, and then enough Alma specific enlightenment shards that you could max her out. So if you got light shards lying around and you need a strike unit, I mean, she could definitely fill that role for you. Like, I'm not going to go for it because that's more gems than I want to spend on a single character, and there's fierce competition for my light shards. But if that wasn't the case, I could see myself going for this, and I could see a lot of people benefiting from this banner. And then aside from that, there's not much else going on, just a bunch of paid banners. So if you have that discount ticket, you're not interested in Alma, then I would just save it. There's still 2 more resets before the month is over, so hopefully something will come along that'll be a better way to burn a discount ticket. So yeah, that is all I have to say about the banners this week. So I've already done 2 from the limited selection pool, and I'm going to do 2 more, so I'll show you those results next. Okay, so first I went for part 3, because that's definitely my favorite one of all of them, just because it's got units that I could definitely use more shards of, like Ignacio, Soul, even Emil to a certain extent, even though I'm locked out of some of his stuff until Genesis reruns again. And we have Ignacio. Second time I've got Ignacio from one of these. That's nice. That's his gate 2 right there. Just because he's one of those units I really, really like, but he's an absolute nightmare to raise, just because he's beyond the point of getting 300 shards for getting him to level 60, because he's older than that, and being a Genesis unit that's just not farmable. So yeah, he's pretty much a permanent fixture in my soul port. And just to save time, there is nothing else on this step, so let's move on. And next up, I'm giving step 1 of part 2 a shot. Now this one's a little more high risk, high reward, because there's units like Lindrake on here, and just a few other units I care quite a bit about, like Inaku, who's kind of a rising star on my account. Looks like there's only 1 red thus far, and it's going to be Julia. I I'm not sure what to do about Julia yet, because not like I have much shards. Kind of the same problem I described with Ignacio. Just very scarce, not easy way to get them. I like her quite a bit as a character. Like design-wise, she's up there, and kit-wise, you know, she can do water res down, which is nice. She was definitely a fixture of some water slash teams I used back in Global, where I just put the Necromancer sub on her. And we got another red. This time it is narrow. I could definitely use more narrow shards. I haven't even touched her enlightenment yet, but this will certainly help. Just because, man, I really want her memento max limit broken too. There's just not enough reliefs for me in this game for probably a long time to come. So yeah, that was it for reds in that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, so the previous two were pre-recorded. This one is not. So next step, I'm going to do another step of part 2, and then we'll close out with one more step on part 3. That's going to put me at exactly 12k gems spent, and then I'm going to call it for the week. Because I am a little bit reluctant to go below 40k, but I like these banners quite a bit, and I need all the light shards that I can get, so just go for that last gem spent milestone, and I think I'll be okay with that. So what do we got? Looks like we just got the one red. Oh, nope, looks like we got at least 2. So who is that? Is it gonna change to red? Looked like it graphically glitched a little. Oh! It is Isha Ignacio. That guy's a dick, by the way. Like, Ignacio's my favorite character, so I'm contractually obligated to hate this guy. One of my favorite lines Ignacio ever said in Genesis was, you know, I've hated every single word that's come out of your mouth. And that's pretty much, I'm in agreement on that. But, you know, I guess it's good to have him. I actually never got him in Global. One of the few, even on those final, what's the point, endless, like, summons that they had. I think the very last unit I got was Schmeier. So I wonder who the other red is going to be. I don't know if any of the other yellows are going to change. It's very rare, at least from my experience, that more than one of them changes. Who is part 2 going to be? Again? Wow, okay. Well, maybe I'll have to raise him some point. I don't have a lot of plans for water, but I definitely have some competition, like, you know, Dark Mira, Julia, etc. He's mostly an Alchemic Freeze, like, CC kind of unit. I do have a lot of good, like, missile setups, so that'll definitely be a possibility. That is kind of funny, though, that another one of those double dose ones. I don't think I got one of those the last time I did it. Like, I did get 2 Inakus in the past, but that was from, like, 2 different steps. That'd be crazy if this one changes. Nope. Alright, I think that was 10. Yeah, okay, that was 10. Alright, we're just going to keep rolling on. So, yeah, I think that... Oh, but for him, I actually can get another 100 shards, so... That is something to look forward to, I guess. Alright, now we are going to close this thing out with another step of part 3. Yeah, I think I've gotten to the point of the game where it no longer does downloading when I get new stuff. Because a lot of the more fun surprise pulls have been lacking. That I haven't seen the downloading screen at all in a while. Nice! Another one with more... This one's got 3? This is the best one so far. I mean, potentially. Oh, is that Kuza? It is Kuza. I guess I didn't have him at all. I wonder how much better that Memento makes him. He's a unit I like. I'm not really sure how to use him all that effectively, if it's just like not a great kit design or what, but I definitely think that he's cool. Like, I tried really hard to make him work in Global, because I had him pretty much completely maxed out, and it never really felt like enough. Alright, but who is number 2 going to be? Oh! It's, Saria. Pirate Girl. I like her design quite a bit. Kind of reminds me of Kiana from Honkai, with the big double braid. It's like if Kiana was a pirate. I have no idea what she does. I know that she's cute, and that's literally 100% of my knowledge. Of course, I'll go in the database and look that up once I'm done with video production. So this has been an interesting little run. Got 2 new units. Or no, 3 new units. because my first 2 steps was nothing but dupes. Oh, man, it's a good day for dicks, because got Shahel along with Yishai. So I finally have access to Ice Dominator Amadeus, which is one of my favorite move names in the entire game. I think we can just safely skip this from now on, because I think that was the last of the... Yeah, I thought so. I can still count. So yeah, look at that. That was a bit of a roller coaster. Oh, she's a light unit? Why? Okay, well, I am going to close out the video now because I have some databasing to do. But if you are summoning this week, I wish you all good luck, and I will see you all next time.